All right, so we're here to talk about life planning and more particularly how to do the Jesse Itzler life planning. So for me, just to backtrack, 2025 was a bit of a low year for me. And I kind of ended the year being a bit down, feeling a bit depressed. But then I watched a video by Jesse Itzler, who is incredible, and he has a planning framework that he guarantees is going to transform your life. So I was very excited by how it was presented, and I'm very excited now to share the process that I did to do my 2026 life plan. So let's get into it.
Okay, so basically, the first thing that I did to start this planning process is that I just went, I'm using Perplexity here. So I went into choose your LLM that you want, but I went to Perplexity and I said, hey, I'm doing a planning session with Jesse Itzler. So I signed up for a VIP session. It was $29 and it was $26, sorry, with him. And basically, it was a Q&A. So I just kind of said, hey, I want to meet with Jesse Itzler. His framework is to include a Misogi, 4 mini adventures, 6 new habits. And I said, hey, what do I need to prep? And then it gave me a list of instructions. So it's sort of a meta prompt in a way. And I did an audit of the last 12 months, plan your Misogi, what's a mini adventures, and so on. So I kind of had a script here. And what I just did here is that I just basically the dictation here. And I just dictated, I said, hey, I want to spend with my friends, including Scott and Jacob, Okar, these people. Here's some things I'd like to do. And then it said, I have a wedding this year. I want to use AI to build apps. I used to build apps. I haven't in a while. So basically I just riffed with dictation and then it gave me some more feedback and I just went back and forth very easily with dictation. Oh yeah, I want to go to the gym. I want to go on travel, this and that. And then it gave me updated candidates. All right. So basically this was the raw data. So the unrefined brainstorm raw data that I had. So what I did from there is that I extracted this and I put it into Notion, which became sort of the knowledge base from which we had that unrefined data. So I'll show you that next. All right, so here we are in Notion. So just to quickly show what I usually do here is I'll kind of just show you quickly here. What I'll do is I'll create call outs like that. So I'll just go back here quickly, slash call out. So then it creates this box and then I would create, so you put slash hashtag and then I'd click heading 1 and then I would have a new section. You click enter and then you type in the text. So I just wanted to do that quick demo to show just basically how I built these. So you can see here, I just kind of quickly, from the brainstorm, I just quickly created some call out boxes. I put my pillars, some Misogi ideas, mini adventure ideas, and the winning habit. So these are the pillars of the Jesse Itzler planning. And also I put in all the brainstorming information here. And for that, what I did is, if you want to use a Notion and do it yourself here, you do, yes, a toggle list. And then basically it creates a toggle list here, ASDF, okay, so on and so forth. But basically, I just wanted to show you how this worked. And so I copy pasted some of that refined. So I went through a back and forth with Perplexity in my case, and then I copied and pasted. I said to Perplexity, "Hey, give me the output of this chat." And then this is sort of like a more refined version of the brainstorm. And I did a couple of other brainstorms, like for example, I want to start an AI business. And I did a couple other brainstorms later on, like I had 2 or 3 pillars I need review, 2 or 3 leaks. And so again, these are things from the Jesse Itzler process. So yeah, I just want to come back here and just say like how important it is to document the brainstorm. So really, literally what you do is just copy and paste the link from the Perplexity or choose your favorite LLM, ChatGPT, or you can just basically ask the LLM to say, hey, make a summary of everything we've discussed so far, and then copy and paste the output of that prompt, and then put it in. So that's what I did here originally. Sometimes I just put in the link. You can do either one. So now here's where the magic happens. So what you can do then is that you have this raw sort of, so we started with this very raw question and answer. Then we kind of have a more refined input or output, sorry, of basically like asking the LLM to summarize. Now we're going to take that and go another layer and create an even more refined output in Jesse Itzler's framework. So let's just go to that right now. All right, so this is where the magic happens, and this is where we are at in terms of the truly mind-blowing capabilities, the LLMs and the generative AI space. So again, it is a lot about using the right prompts, having the right context. So in this case, we already have a really good base because We have a lot of brainstorms, and so I gave it my personal information here about what I want to create, what kind of adventures, what kind of habits I want to have, where am I struggling in my life. So it has a really good context now. So what we'll do now is I'll show you. So you could use any LLM, but with Notion, they have Notion AI, which I believe is using Gemini 3, but regardless, it's a very good LLM, and you could repeat this with other LLMs if you want, but here it's just really incredible. So the prompt I gave it is, hey, can you make me a Jesse Itzler style action plan for 2026 using inputs that I inputted in this Notion page? So basically, I just went here and I pulled, I just copied the link here, and I inputted it in here in this page. So I already ran this, and I'll show you what the output was. So what it did, it automatically outputted this 2026 plan, which is let's just say an 80 or 90 or 95% version of what my plan might be. Because here's the thing, here's the problem it's solving, is that it's going from this sort of like, I have a rough idea of what I want it to be, to here's a more refined and, again, a more high fidelity version of what you want in the end, which is a plan. I find a lot of us struggle with, decision making, wishy-washiness. So this is really helping to say, hey, we have a partner here that's like, let me reflect back to you. So it's almost like a coach or a sounding board or a partner. So you can see here, it's really incredible. Starts with the 3 pillars, the Misogi. So I want to start an AI business. So move towards, I've always been an entrepreneur, so I want to get back into that. So here's some different mini adventures. I have the ski trips with my boys. I want to do at least 2 family adventures, sorry. And then 6 winning habits. The first one I'm thinking is lights out by 10:30. Get off the phone by 9 p.m. And if it's not a date night or something else, then we're in bed reading by 10 p.m. All right. So what's incredible here is that this was a exceptionally good output for me for very minimal effort. Really what I was doing is so let's recap. I started by asking it, hey, tell me what the Jesse Itzler process is. And it went and it found out by looking at a bunch of web pages. And I love Perplexity for that, because it's very good at getting very quickly, very grasping, what the process is and what does it look like. And Jesse Itzler is quite prolific, so there's a lot of information out there for Perplexity to grasp. It gave me the list of things that I can comment on, and I just basically riffed on it. And I just said, hey, here's what comes to mind for question 1. Here's what comes to mind for question 2. Again, I did dictation. I just kind of talked to it. And then it came back and it gave me a first version. And then I said, hey, actually, here's another idea. Here's another idea. It's basically like having a conversation. And then again, as I showed, I copied and pasted that into buckets in Notion. I could have probably done it even easier than what I did it, but I just like to have it organized, just so that I can refer to it myself. So I put, as you saw, the brainstorm, the raw data there. I put that all into Notion. And again, as you saw, once you have those building blocks there, those components, then you let the AI do its magic, because it's got all the pieces that it has or that it needs to in order to produce the output that you want. So at the end of the day, I am just ecstatic because I had this really amazing action plan for 2026. It was very easy to do. I've struggled with action plans or like yearly planning all my life. I know that it's important, but it's kind of onerous. It's exciting, of course, but it's like, I find there's always a struggle of knowing what to put and how do you prioritize and how do you actually make that editorial decision of saying it's this and not that. This is a lot easier, and the output is beautiful. So that's a wrap, folks. So that's my process on how I built my annual plan in 2026 and how easy it was in a step-by-step. Again, I'll put a link in the comment. If you want to grab the template, just fill out the form in the description and I'll get it right to you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for your support, and see you in the next one.